it get it get weird. It was real weird last time. And if I was shooting a regular episode, I'll be trying to freaking fix it so you can see all of that. See, I said if I, then I'm gonna sit there and do it. That's the only thing I don't like about going live. Like you gotta set it up while you on camera because you can't see the angle. Hold on, I know that's annoying, y'all. Yeah, I know that's annoying. That damn. And be annoying. Let's see. Hello. All right. I know it'll be annoying. Welcome to a live episode of Social Heartfelt Informative Things or Shit on the Internet for short. I have been working with YouTube to try to fix some issues pertaining to business. So I have not been real big on like posting on here because I'm trying to get the business right. And anybody who has ever stepped out and did anything on their own, and like the effort that you put in, especially when like beginning certain businesses or doing whatever, the effort you put in may not be the same reward you're gonna get, like appreciated for your effort. But when it's something that I know I can control, like the issue that I'm having with YouTube, and I'm actively controlling the issue that I'm having with YouTube, and it makes more problems, I get frustrated. So, um, I'm not saying I'm frustrated. Like, oh, I'm quitting. I'm no, just trying to get the business right for it could be done, and I could continue putting out this great content, great content to you guys. But this live episode, um, yes, it's been a whole lot going on in the media, and I've been waiting and waiting. And I'm like, this, I got so many episodes in the vault, and I'm like, post this, post that, but I just don't. I truly don't want to waste it. Y'all shouldn't. Y'all shouldn't be able to hear that. I don't know. I think it's from April Fools. If y'all did hear that, my wife got the dang fart alarm. Just childish. I need. She got the fart noise set up. If y'all hear anything else besides me, of course we got a bunch of fur babies, but I got one in here in particular. I got Samalama. Samalama Ding Dong. You want to make an appearance? Come here. It's nothing. I promise. It's nothing. I promise. It's nothing. I promise. And then I thought about it. I was like, why I tell her bring it? Be like ghetto Eno camera. It'd be little ghetto Eno camera. It'd be a little ghetto Eno camera. I don't think so either. Let me get my food. Let me get my food. Take Sam along with you. Don't be showing them what I'm getting, baby. Ain't no free promotion. Love you. All right, we back to it. Yeah, my dinner just got here. But yeah, what we covering today? I do like going live, and the only I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. Let me fix it. I don't. Yeah, I think going live is cool. Of course, going live when you have an actual audience is a little bit better. But I also like going live because the issue that I'm dealing with YouTube going live is a way to kind of go around it, kind of like a gray area. So I don't want to have an issue with my videos, and like I don't know, like I say, it's business, so I don't want to like talk too much details. But they literally tell me like, "Oh, we got a band on you right now. We need to have you identify whatever." Like it's stupid, but going live, I could go live and I could deal with it, whatever. So, social, heartfelt, and informative things. If this is your first episode, it's the first episode you are checking out. Is this live? It's completely different from the podcast, but of course, it's all under the Overthinking Understanding umbrella. But it's social, heartfelt, and informative thing. It was a lot of stuff on the internet, and I feel like you got pages, the messy pages, the blog pages, the news outlets. Some people cover just the same thing, and I know we live in a time period in this world, in this freaking timeline existence, whatever simulation, that a lot of people be feeling like stuff is oversaturated. Like, oh, everybody does this, everybody does that. But it's 7 billion people in the world and growing. It's so many different perspectives to have about the things that we talk about. So social, heartfelt, and informative things, which I try to keep it within like a 30-minute limit sometimes. Like, of course, this is a live episode. I'm gonna let it go until I get done talking. Like I say, loopholes. But I'm gonna let it go until I get done talking or whatever. But yeah, social, heartfelt, and informative things is kind of like me and my team talking about stuff that we feel like gets skipped. And some things, don't get me wrong, like some things we cover, everybody else doesn't cover too. Some things we talk about, people haven't. And just like I said, 7 billion people in the world. It's just my perspective about things. I know streaming has become this big boom thing. Um, and I might start streaming. I got a little bit more time on my hands now. Like overthinking understanding is not my only business venture. And most entrepreneurs are like that, right? They're like business makers or inventors. I would call myself I'm an inventor. But, most of us are similar. Like you don't just have one thing. Like it's multiple businesses or ventures or stuff that you have. So I sound good up here, but if I play it back and it sound weird, I'm gonna be like, damn. But I'm gonna keep it, like I say, because we're gonna get this business right. Um, yeah. So social, heartfelt, informative thing for the May edition. We gonna be talking about the Supreme Court last ruling on social media censorship. Inflation is dropping, but why aren't people feeling the relief? I don't think it's dropping. I don't think it's dropping. Allah, Allah. Why I say it like that? AI cloning in the music industry. Veterans and homelessness numbers are climbing. It's a story about a black team who invented a new way to clean water. Why is this being ignored? I have no idea. They're a teenager too. I think he's like 17, but we're gonna go into it. P. Diddy in the fall from power. The illusion of the fall from power. The illusion of the fall from power. But we're gonna keep it with the notes. P. Diddy in the fall from power, fame, and the consequences. DDG, Haley, and the culture of oversharing. Undercover wealth gaps, the social media illusion. I like that. I like that right there. The rise of AI girlfriends and emotional disconnection. Okay. And then another story about a chef from the military turning old MREs to feed the homeless people. So we'll scroll back to the top. So the Supreme Court last ruling on social media censorship, breaking down what it means for creators and free speech. How could this impact YouTubers, TikTokers, and podcasters? I'm not gonna lie. Um, Free speech is free speech, but a lot of those amendments that we have that we live by was not created for us. It's not saying nothing new. Well, I can't even say that because we live in a world where they're like trying to wipe history. So it may be new to some people just listening to it because people live in a box or whatever. But yeah, like the censorship, I do think that, and even like especially being a poster, I won't even say I'm a creator because I'm not as consistent as I want to be because this is not my thing that pays the bill. Like I am passionate about it, but you got something that pays the bills that kind of get in the way of you full. People don't realize like people that's able actually to do it a little bit more. This is a full time job for to a certain extent. And but yeah, get into the censorship. Um I just done said it before. If you have ever checked out Overthinking and Understanding podcast, going and being able to travel to other countries. I wonder if y'all can hear that back play. Let me see. Try to turn it down a little bit. But being able to travel to other countries and see other stuff, I do think that we show I do think that we show a little bit too much in the US. But it's two parts. I think we censor some things that don't need to be censored and some stuff that needs to be censored, like porn, being able to freely watch porn, you like click a link you over 18 or whatever, or like that stuff. And other places you don't really have. And like I said, that it's almost word for what I said on the show before, but this is really how I feel like I've lived it. You go to these other countries and you're not just necessarily being able to watch porn. You're not being able to watch certain YouTube videos. And it's not to say that grown people, like I'm not trying to handcuff grown people to do what they need to do. We talking about children. We talking about people where it shouldn't be there, and definitely where we live in honorable mention. We gonna talk about forever too, if I remember. We gonna talk about forever, but honorable mention like stuff like that. Where somebody can share a video and you even if you record it with somebody and they share it without your knowledge, you underage. There's distribution of child porn. So going through it and looking through it like that, I do think some like more stuff needs to be censored. We also live in a world where we're over saturated with people's opinion. And yes, people's opinions are important. We need other people's opinions are good because we don't want to go back to a time. We don't want to go back to a time where you kind of felt like you was the only one that thought that. But there's a lot of stuff that gets said on social media, and it's a lot of stuff that get pushed even though you say like I don't want this on my feed, like you got 10,000 booty fake pages. Instagram, like long as they got a thin piece of twine between their ass cheeks, Instagram is letting these people post. So it goes back, I guess, to what I'm trying to capture. um, yeah, I think it's gonna be a little different for YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff like that. But the people who make the big bucks on YouTube anyway, and even then, like I try not to cuss. I want it to be clean, but at the same time, this is my art. Art imitates life. I did a lot better at not cussing coming out of my last job because I didn't want to. It is unprofessional to me in the workplace, even though like, oh, you're a soldier, we cuss. Like it was unprofessional. It's taught to be unprofessional. I didn't want to cuss, so I started to cuss less, and I didn't cuss like that in my day to day. Then it became a time period where I was just like masking it, and I wasn't. Hey, like Victoria, we ain't asked for this, whatever. And where like I started masking it, and then I would cuss a little bit more when I get home. And it was just like, like when you're a kid and you first start cussing and you just cussing for no reason, like you ain't even cussing right. Just every other word is a cuss word. It was like that. And it was just like me trying to like get it off. I guess like suppressing it and being like my brain, subconscious, whatever, don't believe in this standard that I used to believe in. So with that being said, coming back to this, starting the podcast, starting this, like I didn't want to like literally social heartfelt and informative things. I came up with shit on the internet and then I knew I couldn't just say shit on the internet. Even that YouTube be flagging me like shit on the internet. They don't let like it's no promotion for shit on the internet because it's like, oh, you're saying shit on the internet, you're promoting that. I'm like, but like I said, when I started this segment, I grew up hearing shit on the internet, look at this shit, whatever. So going back to what I'm saying, just being true to who you are and how I am as a person, then we cussing. But to go back to what I was saying about the first topic that we're talking about, like the Supreme Court ruling censorship and how it's gonna affect TikTokers and YouTubers, a lot of our stuff is already censored. We try to bleep it, we try not to use cuss words and different little things like that. So the ones that really make big bucks, they not really posting nothing crazy. I do think TikTok get a little crazy, but Instagram get crazy. and X get like it's flat porn on there, and it's like, oh, you don't, this doesn't go against the community guidelines. Like, I don't want to see that. Then it's just fake pages scamming, and we don't want to go down that conspiracy theory wormhole, because it's like, why is these fake pages literally their profile picture is ass cheeks or look like an AI girl, then the only post is like some ass cheeks and titties, and this person fought like nobody want to see that. So it get irritated. So we'll see. And even with they did add podcasters on there. With podcasters, I already think it's too many people that has oversaturated being able to have access to a microphone in the internet, talking their, like I said, opinions are great and we need opinions. We need differences in opinions. But over saturation of the BS and what people are talking about and the harmfulness that some of these programs be promoting, I definitely hope that the censorship affect that, because a lot of people just be talking, and it sucks because I feel like it teeter totters. Going back to what I said at the beginning of this live, like a lot of the free speech and all that was never meant. Them founding fathers would have killed themselves if they ever would have thought people that look like me, people that look like some of these people with these platforms would be the ones with the freedom of speech. Like, we weren't thought of. We weren't the people that was talking about it, and they never I and like I said, we don't know these folks, but whatever. We know. We don't know them, but we know. We never would have thought that. I ain't gonna say we. My apologies. They never would have thought that it'll be people like us talking, and then the stuff that we're talking about. And like I say, once again, we don't go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. Nothing but the pushing of the bullshit and the turn down of certain cultures and people. Like I say it all the time, like you don't have to like nobody being gay, straight, black, white. People have a prejudice. That is fine, but it's harmful when you're telling somebody because you do not like the way that somebody's living that you should hurt them, or you teaching people that it's affecting them or it's affecting your kids. Like I seen this thing on TikTok, this like shit like that. I don't think should get censored. And this is a video. Like I seen this thing on TikTok, and the girl's like, "I'm not trying to raise your kids," and it sucks. But it's like, yo, child. It's like, yes, you're. Oh, we're humanity. Humanity. We should be like, oh, protect the children, protect everybody. This is some wild stuff, whatever. But like at the same time, like I agree with her so much. Like I'm not trying to raise your kids. I'm not trying to raise your kids. Like I'm. It's a if I post every time thinking about like a kid could see this, like half of the post that's relatable probably wouldn't even be on TikTok. And just like I say, in other places, it's censored. It's censored. It's timed. You can't be on there that long. Like of course, STEM was added to the American side of it. And people saying like it's been there, but I had never seen a STEM side of TikTok till recently, and where it's actually like the tab where it says STEM. Like come on, that wasn't on there. But the stuff that we see, the stuff that's getting pushed to our children, are over here on this side, and once again, it's not just talking. This is being going to these other places and going to YouTube and trying to watch just a music video or something like that. And it's like this is blocked in this country. Shit like that should be censored. Like for sure. Some of the stuff that we saying, some of the stuff that we pushing. And once again, like I say, not to be contradicting. Nobody means to be contradicting. It's been like that for rap and hip hop and music. But you learn, like even with that, you're pushing an image that at the time people didn't do. Now they pushing the image, and because rappers back in the day was like this was like we was faking it. The new people coming up is like still faking it, but you're really doing what you're saying you're doing just to say you're not faking it. So you still faking it. Like you got to go look for somebody to kill to go rap about it. Like so you're not at war. Ain't nobody bothering you. But now you go kill somebody. Now it's a war. Whatever, don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So the first topic was the Supreme Court last ruling on social media censorship. We talked about how it's going to affect YouTubers, podcasters, and TikTokers. Inflation is dropping. The next topic, getting into it. Inflation is dropping, but why aren't people feeling it, feeling the relief? I don't think inflation is dropping. I truly don't think inflation is dropping. I have not physically seen it. I will also be 100% honest. I do not, a lot of the bills that I have is the same bills that I've had for over the last 10 years. And I've, actually lost a lot of bills. And it's not like, oh, Breck, no. I'm just saying, like, I don't feel it because I cut off a lot, I guess, of the access. So a lot of the stuff that people complain about, I don't necessarily see it as far as like hurting in my pocket until I'm trying to do something out of the ordinary. By I mean, i.e., an unplanned trip, a concert I want to see pop up. I love boxing. I love sitting floor seats at boxing. So like a boxing event pop up and it's like there stuff like that. It's like crap. Like you shouldn't have to budget necessarily this hard or this much, and one little thing throws it off, and you realize like we ain't making as much money as we should. I know it's probably like a bad thing, but that's just my realest thing. Like that's my real thing. I don't see it getting cheaper in grocery stores. And then I actually say that lately I've been feeling like some of the food because I fast a lot, and like you go back to eating some of the food, and I feel like this stuff is so fake. It's so fake. It's so nasty. So some of the stuff that's cheap, they damn near selling us like plastic food, or it just tastes like plastic. Lettuce and stuff tastes like plastic. Like I do not feel the decrease at all. So we were talking about rent, groceries, wages. I already got into it, but subtopics we go, rent, grocery, wages, and how it's hitting regular people real hard, which it always affects the consumer. So I guess that's a better way to say what I was trying to say earlier. I took myself out of being a consumer of certain things to try to keep bills and stuff at a certain level. So I have decent amount of extra money put up, but I also don't do too much. And then when I do stuff, it does hurt. But I ain't gonna say that we're feeling a relief. I don't understand where like why was that even in the news? Like inflation is dropping. Where is inflation dropping? Like people saying we're in a recession, so how is inflation dropping? And it's always two sides of a coin. You go out, you see people buying these high concert tickets. Beyonce, you got SZA, and I'm not knocking. Like I'm getting ready to go to a concert, but it's like we're spending on what we want to spend on. However they doing it, I don't know. But you go to Ross and Walmart and the mall and stuff like parking lots and stuff still seemingly to be full. You go to restaurants and stuff like that. So even if people are feeling it, they're still like navigating their regular lives. But just to say that inflation is dropping and why aren't people feeling the relief is I truly do not think it's any relief. And I think it's probably a lot of kinds of people. But I think it's two kinds of people that we are seeing on the internet or in real life. We're seeing people that's like, I'm paying my bills, but I'm also gonna treat myself because, you know, freak it, it is what it is. And then you got the people that's just not paying their bills, not doing that, kind of living off other taxpayers. And I know it sucks, but sometimes the system worked better because that's the way it was designed. It wasn't designed for us to be successful in making our own money. They want to keep us in a rabbit hole. Um, and I'm just saying that, like, I don't subscribe to that way of thinking because I don't want to get trapped in that way of thinking, and I don't want to be a victim. But I'm also a realist, and some things are set up for us to be in the maze. It's like, why do I have to follow your maze? I'm gonna just break through the walls. But I don't want to get off. So I do think is hitting regular people. Like I said, we are the consumers, the middle class, no such thing middle class, poor class, whatever. But we are the ones that's getting hit. But we also are the ones that were taught to play the game. Like I say, like we were the ones who were taught to stay in the maze, and we talk about the 1% and these super wealthy billionaires and stuff like that. That we're complaining about paying taxes. I'm like, I'm paying on my house and I gotta pay taxes to pay on my house. Then I have to pay property taxes for a property that I'm paying on. So I don't technically really own. If I miss, excuse me, if I miss a payment or so, they take like, but then I gotta pay property taxes at the end. Then I pay taxes on my food. Then I gotta pay taxes on my paycheck. Then I gotta pay taxes to put it inside of a retirement account. And then if it's so the consumers were taught to play the game, and some of the 1%, like you can't be mad at all of you cannot be mad at all of them because they stopped playing the game. They got out of the fucking maze race and they're like, this is stupid. Like, why am I falling? A lot of us sit there and we subscribe to retiring, budgeting, doing this, doing that. And I'm not saying that what the people don't do it because they are 9 times out of 10 more disciplined than what they have less stuff than what people that we see popping it on Instagram or even in real life. Like they have less stuff than what we have. It looked like better, but the way that they acquired it was, totally different. Just saying that to say it's gonna hit regular people harder because we are consumers. If you let yourself be a consumer, like I'm big on buy what you want to buy, don't buy what you don't want to buy, and find your loopholes. Like it's never mind. But we gonna move on. So that topic was inflation is dropping, but why aren't people feeling it? We talk about hello, we didn't talk about rent. We didn't talk about wages. I apologize. Grocery. Rent is high. Rent is high, but I think scamming did a number on that, and so many people got scammed. Like my one of my siblings is looking to get an apartment, and they was like, I have to upload my check stubs, and then I have to sign in to this portal where they can have access to my bank account. And it's like, what? Like, oh, I gotta have um access to my bank account or whatever. And I'm like, what? Like, what are we talking about? You got to do all that just to rent. But I think scamming did that, and rent prices are crazy. But like I say, like somebody who has more than or starting more than one business by themselves, you put a lot of money into it, and it seems like I guess it's just learning business, and I don't want to say it in a cliche way like it's just business because you do not have to screw people over. Like if I buy something for $3 and I sell it for 9, some people will buy something for $3 and sell it for fucking 30. Like you screwing people over. So rent prices kind of on the same thing because once you buy this building, and 9 times out of 10, if you got a and I'm not like once again, I do not like speaking about what I don't know. I was in the process in looking for a 6 unit apartment complex or whatever. Still am in the process looking for an apartment complex. But 6 unit apartment complex, 9 times out of 10, the your price point and what you sell or rent the first apartment or 2 apartments out for, you've already made your monthly payment for what you have to pay, unless you got the cash. Unless you got two 200,000 or 30. I think one of them was like, nah, yeah, one of them. I think it was like 200,000. What would be looking at like 265, something like that. Some of them 300 grand, but we weren't looking at those. Long story short, just to say, like, you rent out 2 units and you're already making your monthly payment back. Everything else is just extra. Of course, you want to pay the loan down quicker, but even with that, like, do I care about necessarily paying the loan down? Like there's some of this free game, but like you can sit there, rent out the 2 apartments for what you go rent them out as. When you rent out the 2 apartments for what you go rent them out as, the extra money could go into passive income or whatever. Because like if you want to keep the property, you can keep it. But if you're thinking that I'm gonna live here in one of these units or whatever, I'm gonna charge these people to cover the cost of everything that I need to cover as far as like I say, your monthly payment, water, light, whatever, maintenance, whatever. Make sure your price point is set reasonable or whatever, or to cover you for that because at the end of the day, you are making a bigger investment. Fast forward, you can use it as passive income, and you tell yourself like, if you want to pay it off, then of course that money goes into paying off on the loan. Or if you say I'm only keeping it for 6 to 7 years, and you have a certain number on the loan that you're trying to get down to, then you use the money accordingly. Like I said, a little bit of free game, but I'll tell you, I ain't even gonna say I'm a hustler because that's a lie. I wish my people would taught us how to hustle a little bit more, but I am a go getter. I am. You learn to be like business minded. You get stuck out of the rabbit hole. So rent is go increase because regardless if I charge you 2 times the rent or 3 times the rent, I took the loan out in my name. I'm telling you, I owe more. Like I put down, and that's a lot. I ain't gonna say I put down more, but if it's in my name, I got more debt than what you have. Like you can give me, yeah, I can have it in my contract that you give me a month notice and you able to vacate this. I'm still gonna have this property and this debt on my hand. I'm not saying that it's fair, but in that part, I do think it's business. I do think renting stuff is gonna come down though because you can only squeeze so much out of people. Like if you buy a house and they can look up and see that your mortgage is $900 or something, and but you covering everything, so you trying to rent it out for like 2,400. Eventually, people not gonna pay, and they don't have the money to pay that. Once again, two type of people. You got some that's gonna pay their bills, and you got some that's gonna give you that two times the rent, being there for a month, maybe pay you 2 or 3 months, and they go live their best life. And now you gotta deal with evicting people and doing all of that. Wages, same thing. I know it sucks. I don't even want to go back into that spiel. It's kind of just like the rent thing. I'm taking the bigger risk when I start a business, and I think if you are a consumer in a way or they're trying to do it just like any job, they're not paying you what they worth. They paying you what they're convincing you that you worth or what you're willing to take. Either way, you sign on a dollar line that if I get hired to this job, this is the amount of money that I'm going to get paid. So yeah, but that was inflation dropping. So AI cloning in the music industry. Major artists are now fighting AI clones of their voice. What does this mean for art and originality? I'm not gonna lie. Some of the songs on TikTok be fire. Some of the songs on TikTok be fire, but I think it's good and bad. I think artists that are no longer here and their likeness being able, because don't get me wrong, AI is AI, and maybe 10 years from now it'll sound more real, but you can kind of know it's fake. Not kind of, like 9 times out of 10 you can hear that it's fake. um but before I lose my train of thought, maybe in 10 years it'll sound better, but I do think it's cool to be able to capture a artist likeness, be able for that artist family to maximize off a AI voice capturing the artist likeness, and then being able to take that likeness, make songs, and feed the family. I think that's cool. Immediately after anything outside of that, like I was trying to think about another way where I won't contradict myself later, but we grow, so whatever. I do not think it's like, other than that, I don't think it's cool. Like you're literally impersonating somebody, but who do you sue when a AI that's created by a code, you got to go after that person who created it. Like who do you sue when you like somebody is stealing my likeness? It's people that literally like songwriters write the song, but the artists make the song come to life. Like a songwriter that cannot sing or is not the it factor, or whatever. And you got now you've been able to put somebody's voice inside of a song, because all of them we gonna keep it in the parameters that it gave us. AI cloning in the music industry and major artists. We're gonna keep it like that. Because I was like, you like AI definitely has the ability to not sound like nobody or sound like you, take your likeness, and I'm speaking of the songwriter, and then you could, do some funky shit with it and make a hit. I think that's cool too, because now the songwriter is now also the artist. Um and a lot of the stuff that comes that regular artists got to deal with, the label taking this, manager taking this, that, and the third, and now they're they charging people 30, 40, 50, upwards to 150 grand to 200 grand to perform at shows, and they're asking for it in cash because that money comes to them. They ain't that other stuff trickle in. That money comes to them. So um but yeah, but to answer the question that it gave us, like, what does it mean for art and originality? I think for the art form, me personally, I don't do music. Like I'm definitely a consumer of music and I love music, but for the art form, I do not think, because like I say, some of the music be good. I don't see that it messing with it, because once it, like, going back to what I was saying in the beginning of the live, a lot of the stuff that we listen to and the stuff that we subscribe to is not real. Like that artist, we're jamming and we thinking like this artist that we love. Sorry, hold on. We're thinking that this artist that we love and that we is like on our page. Like They feel the way we feel. That artist don't feel like you feel. Like that artist ain't even thinking like you thinking or nothing. Like the songwriter that wrote that song for that artist sound like that. And some artists got their own penmanship, but just to go to like the art and originality, like the music industry is smoke and mirrors. So what originality? Now you got the people who create the smoke. Well, I say like the writers create the smoke and then like the artist is the mirror. Like, oh, I did this. No, you didn't. And like I say, it's not to go to the artists that do right and to the ones that don't work. I'm not taking shots at them either. I'm just saying like I don't see it bothering. I do see like cause some of the stuff that the songs put out is crazy. And and I took it out, but I guess like I'll speak on a little bit like the Drake response, this fake response that was out. Like, some of the songs, like I say, be fire, but definitely using somebody's voice, like that used to be able to catch people up in court. Like you can't imagine, and they're using lyrics and stuff in court, and then now you have to prove that this is AI. Now you have to prove that uh, nobody's. I didn't do this. Nobody did this. Like this was that. So, but yeah. Other than that, like I said, I'm not really music. I'm a consumer of music. I do, like I said, I don't. I think that is the farthest at this time that my opinion goes on that because it's like what really are we necessarily doing that's affecting the art and originality when there's not a lot of originality inside of it. And when we do get an artist that is fresh and able to write their music, and a little help is a little help, I ain't saying that, but able to write their music and do like that, we appreciate them, like the Scissors and the um. Ah man, see, I wish I was better at names because TikTok got so many original freaking artists. The girl that, the woman that sings again, 28 degrees in Houston, people like that. The is it Anaya? She's big. I just don't want to mess her name up. See now, is it Anaya me's nigga. That's all that's in my head. But like, like people like her, like it's some great people and some great artists that produce some great music, but a lot of the artists and music and whatever that they put out is not them, but that we see that we actively consume is not the artist. So as far as a person that doesn't do it, I would definitely say that I don't really see it being too much of a big deal. But I love to talk to an artist about that. Like maybe we should make that episode. Okay, veterans and homelessness. Why did they put it like that? It's literally veterans and homelessness numbers are climbing. Despite awareness, support for veterans still lag. Share how we can help and why this matters. I'm not gonna lie. I think I got two veteran stories on here, but I am a veteran. Well, I'm active duty still, but I'm getting out. But I am a veteran. I served 10 years in the service. Almost 11. Literally like 4 or 5 days short of 11. But yeah, 10 years in the service or whatever. And I think it's hard. Once again, like I say, it sucks if you go into the matrix and you choose your pill. Like the army is one of them things that literally tells you it's a simulation. And we see the simulation glitching all the time. Like you can see somebody that's you should be a soldier, you should do this, you should do that, and go catch a rape charge or talk to people crazy, or they could spew, don't want to bring religion into it, but they could spew soldier creed and PT scores and stuff like that, and they are shit people and shit soldiers for like the basic values that the army said you're supposed to have. So I do think it sucked. I do think it sucked that people like you go fight for your life, you go get your country. Like it sucks for you not to be taken care of. But now, especially the climate that I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, they're big on telling us we get paid to do it. So you got compensated to do all of that while you was in. But at the time when the money was coming in, when the people was around, all of that, you accepted it. Once again, you signed on that dotted line. And I'm not talking the contract. I'm saying repeated, well, I guess kind of the contract too, but like you repeatedly stand into the service, excuse me, repeatedly standing to the service and doing more than one contract. And some people don't even do one more than contract, but you literally And I know older veterans, my heart goes out for them because anybody that went to war, went to combat, like I went to Afghanistan, I think like 3, 4 times, and the longest I stayed over there was like a month, and I knew that I didn't have to do that for 12, 13 more consecutive months to be like, this sucks. Like when I got to Afghanistan, it was hot. I was like, it smelled like dirt and gunpowder. We got bombed. We got bombed the first day I was there in Bagram, and I didn't sleep for like 3 days. I was like, what the hell? Everybody's walking around with a weapon system. You got different people um, guarding and whatever. And I can only imagine that the smaller one, like Bagram was more established. We stayed in like connexes that were warped into whatever. But just to speak on the veteran side of it, for sure, I think that it's sad and it sucked, but it's also what we signed up for, and that's why I believe that the you can retire at 20-year mark. Not even being funny, depending on what you seen and how you seen it, I do think that it should be raised. Like if you're just and you know how like they do, well, y'all might not know. They do PT tests by MOS and crap now, whatever. But depending on what you seen, your psyche vows, um your little med pros popping in my head, but your periodic assessments, is that what it is? Your health assessment, stuff like that, like the stuff that you done been accused of, got caught of doing this, that, and the third. Those people or people, soldiers in that position should be able to retire a little bit earlier. They should be able to get their benefits. They should be like even fighting to get benefits at the VA sucks because that screws a lot of veterans over. But even the ones that's 100% and you can't walk, breathe. Some of the stuff that some of the stuff I deal with, like the money doesn't fix it. And even 100%, you're getting compensated 52,000 untaxable cash when you get your full percentage, but you're not able to live your life. And then you're taught you was in an organization for so long or for enough period of time to stun your mind or stun your growth and tell you that you have to constantly be moving. You're worthless if you're not giving back and doing this. It sucks. So homeless rising and people being aware of it. We're the 1%, just like the rich people. In the military, it's less than 1%. I think it's like 0.89, some crap like that. Just keep counting down, right? But a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't get it, and yeah, so it can be awareness. People can have sympathy. Some may have empathy, can put themselves in a position, but some people don't get it. So I do think, and even with me starting the next business adventure that I'm starting up, like of course you want to hire veterans, you want to help, but you actually want to be able to help. And I think being inside of the simulation, you're not able to help as much as you think you would be. So that was another reason of me like getting out, stepping back, actually being able to help veterans get done and do what they need to do. But yeah, I think it's gonna continue. Right? I think that it's and on the flip side of that, negative, whatever. Not trying to be that. The army does kind of hold soldiers' hands a little bit too much, in my opinion. Like if we didn't have like they should, I definitely think they should raise our wages, right? Um, if we did not have a living stipend and a eating stipend, me 10 years in, whatever accolades, base pay. Just Google military base pay and look at the time, and just think and that and you can't see the stipends. The stipends make it great, like, but the stipends are non-taxable, so it helps. You get an extra non-taxable thing on top of it if you have a family. Those that live in the barracks, not the same thing. I would say that, but once again, we don't get paid nothing. You 45,000, 50,000 a year. You're not getting paid anything. And the army kind of makes it where it does kind of take care of you. If you don't buy no clothes, barely wash your ass, do whatever, the army is going to issue you PTs, uniforms, and all of that. Yeah, you're going to have to eventually buy more, whether you gain weight or skinny or whatever from muscles or anything. You're going to have to buy more clothes or whatever. But they're going to give you boots. They're going to give you this. And the way that the army works, of course, like the army on paper is great. Human interaction mess up a lot of stuff. But human error is going to be human error. But dealing with it, yeah, dealing with it like that, and they kind of take care of soldiers a little bit too much, and they're supposed to, but a lot of times they don't. Like if the army issue you a uniform, supply is supposed to be able to give you another one. If you never been issued certain stuff, supply is supposed to be able to give it to you, but take forever to order stuff get done like that. But the army takes care of soldiers with certain things too much, kind of coddle them. Like you're not able to go out and live on your own. Like we said all the time in the service, the army teaches you to rely on it. It doesn't teach you to rely on yourself. Like you have to be a smart, strong, resourceful individual. And like the army will tell you, like they'll try to build that all up in you. But just like they say, build them up to tear them down. They show you inside of the army. So they make you all this thing, and when you get to being resilient and thinking on your own, because the soldiers back in the day, like they thought one, they told the thought, told to eat, told what to do, this, that, and the third. When you start not thinking, when you start thinking on your own and realizing once again, the army tells you it's a simulation, and you start seeing like this simulation is glitching. It tells you you're a failure if you don't make it to 20 years. For what? They gonna literally chew you up and spit you out. You're gonna get these benefits and that benefits. VA 100% is not guaranteed. Your pension at the end of doing your 20 years is like 45%. You can take 45% of your well-being, get out and go make more money at other jobs, and it's give or take. I didn't want to get all in that. But homelessness, veterans being more homeless, even though it's been aware, I think that's just part of how it goes. I do not think, like, once again, we're part of the 1%. A lot of people get it, but they don't get it. Um, yeah. I don't want to butcher this name, but a story that I feel like people should be talking about, but I haven't seen them talking about. Okay, the black teen who invented a new way to clean water. Why has it been ignored? I have no idea. Meet Marcus Devon, a 17-year-old from Mississippi who created a low-cost water filtration system using natural materials in 2023. His science fair project went viral locally but never gained national attention. Why? Because he hacked the resources and backing, stopping the spotlight from bigger names to get it. Um, that's part of the game. That's why I say like definitely a simulation. I know people get tired of me saying it, but life because I think life is not a simulation. I think so the social construct and how are we told to think from other people, that is what I'm saying. Like it's a simulation. Every time I ain't gonna say every time, but when you're starting something and a big company that's already bigger than you sees what you have going on, like shout out to him, being from Mississippi, being 17, creating this product. Somebody that's starting out and doing that, you got this big company, they're not trying to give you no money to make yourself bigger, especially if they're already ripping people off and you're trying to create affordable way to do it or a dang near free way to do it and trying to teach other people. They rather just buy you out. So I think that a lot of people don't know about his story, and it went viral where he was at. A lot of people don't know about his story because people don't want you to. Them big corporations don't want you to. If you learn how to, like I say, and going back to what we were saying earlier, groceries, inflation, all that crap, you learn how to grocery bills, put an animal on your piece of property, doing whatever. And even if you live in an apartment, but you have a family member that has a yard or whatever, you put animals over there. Just saying this to say, it's 1,000 ways to, like we know, skin a cat or whatever, but to become less of a consumer. And the people that we complain about, and don't, and like I say, and I'll feel wrong if I don't say it out loud. Like it popped up in my head. Like if we do start taking care of ourselves too much, they're gonna make it mandatory for us to do certain things. Mandatory that if you live in this proximity and you got this and the third, you can't grow your own plants and vegetables. You have to shop at the grocery store. Like when they start making shit mandatory, it means like they know we're not buying that shit. We're not going for it on our own. So shout out to him creating that water filtration system out of Mississippi. 2023, crazy 2 years later. I bet you a lot of people don't know about Marquise. I don't want to put his name, but I think it's Marquise Devon and creating that. We not gonna hear a lot of stories about this. A lot of the, like I say, um, brilliance brilliance oftentimes get buried when people don't have access to it. Like it's a lot of brilliant people. Like I said all the time when I started my podcast, like it's a lot of brilliant people that's to your right and left that you'll never know is brilliant because you're focusing on somebody you don't know or somebody that appears to be smoking mirrors, that appears to be brilliant and they're really not. Get in, man. Freaky leak, man. Get into freaky leak, man. P Diddy. What we know, what we've been shown. How does the industry protect people in power until it doesn't? And is it accountable or calculated cancellation? Um, I do think he's been held accountable for his actions, but I also do feel, and I'm going backwards because that was good. I do feel like he's been held accountable for his actions, but I also feel that it is a calculated cancellation because he is no longer valuable. And that's just how we know that's how life works. Like when you become no longer valuable, here we go. You are no longer valuable. When you're valuable, I'm gonna protect you. So it kind of goes into, like I said, I'm going backwards because it says, how does the industry protect power players until it doesn't? You're no longer valuable to me, then it's boom, whatever. Like don't damn near throw you to the wolves. Long as I'm able to do what you need, or you able to, you can keep looking like you popping it, whatever. That how it work. I don't think that the industry just protect people like that. Like it's just people like that. Normal. Once again, I hate to say it, but it's just you. You know, you start slipping from the goddamn simulation. A lot of times we have been taught what's right, wrong, and indifferent when it comes to ages, freaky stuff, doing nasty. Oh no, shun this person, shun that person. Don't do this, don't do that. I think he was being nasty. Do I think it went too far? Do I think that abuse? Like we got to see him drag somebody. Like I don't never think that's cool. And there's done been some people that has took me there, but I have never put my hands on nobody I've been in a relationship with. I can't say that I ain't never put my hands on nobody because yes, I got a high head, but I even learned that like if somebody not saying like actively you gonna fight me, I'm gonna fight you, and we agreeing on it, don't put your hands on them people. But going back. We seen Diddy drag this lady up. We also seen how he acted when he was felt like he was still protected. These allegations and lies that's done been said. Then the video come out and and this motherfucker talk about, oh, that was the lowest I was at in my life. Nigga, what? Like you was just saying that didn't happen, and then the video came out. Now you can't lie. Shut the hell up. So yeah, I think he's being held accountable for his action, but it's definitely calculated, and it sucks. Like for the people who make it up, it sucks. For the victims that actually went through it, and you got people that made it up, and we live in a world where the proof can be thrown at them. But if you like, that's just the world. That's just life. You got religion. You got God. People's gonna talk about the good things and God did this and God did that and it's good, it's good, it's good. But you read the Bible for yourself and you get taught all these good things and you like, this motherfucker was killing people left. Not motherfucker, hell if I forgive me. God was killing people left and right for like some crazy things, and you just like, God did this. Like I thought God was just all good. It's not true. Um, but just to say, like, yeah, yeah, crazy. What we know versus what we've been shown. Um, I mean, I do like the fact that we live in a world where a lot of stuff is public knowledge. Like the public has the right to choose. And I also know that once again that a lot of people don't choose. A lot of people is not going to choose to look it up. You could literally go sit in the courthouse. I keep going back and forth um, thinking about going to go sit in the courthouse when Yellow Beach and them case start about the Mo 3 thing. Just an honorable mention, but it's open to the public for you to go and see and do certain things. Uh, and yeah, with that being said, like big cases and stuff like that, like people is able to go read it. Even with like the Tory Lanes and Megan and all that, like if you actually read the court files, it said somebody pulled the weapon went off, trying to take it, still shot, whatever. But yeah, I definitely think what we know and what we've been shown is a little bit different, but we also know a lot and have been shown a lot if you go read. If you go read the actual court document, if you go actually read the actual indictment, if you just get your just like now, like I'm on social heartfelt and informative things, summing up. I could go and do my research and do whatever, but it's only my team and is gonna only give me bullets, and I'm only gonna be able to talk about so much. So once again, like I was saying, where people be feeling like stuff is oversaturated, if you're able to go look at this stuff yourself, like what I think about is important, or where I might go off on a tangent on, and I have my opinion about maybe something totally different from you. So definitely go look at it on your own. The power and fame and all that stuff is an illusion. power, fame, money, all that stuff is illusion. Like they can go in tomorrow and wipe out everybody's bank account. What you got in your pocket is what you have in your pocket. They can go tomorrow and be like that. Money, the U.S. dollar is no longer a thing. This, that, and the third. This new thing is a thing, and you'll be start getting past this out shortly. Every U.S. dollar you have in your pocket don't mean nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like it's all that crap is an illusion. The power, fame, all this and that. Like it's an illusion. Just like people counseling. I love you one minute, I hate you the next. It's the public opinion. Not saying it doesn't suck and it can ruin you, but a lot of that stuff he's not able to keep up. His hair being dyed and whatever. He gray up in there looking crazy. And don't get me wrong, like when people do stuff, 'cause even some of the people that I've dated, some of the people that I've been friends with, can't stand and did some messed up stuff in the past. I was still present and privy and at some part a willing participant to the bullshit. So do I think that like some of these people that's coming forward was just completely like I can't do nothing, I'm scared? No. No. The roller like even if the roller coaster wasn't fun no more. If you get on a roller coaster and they say you only gotta, you only go on one time, you be like, ooh, you excited. Like, it's thousand other people in line and this roller coaster only going by one time. So the excitement is there, you're loving it. If you they tell you going on there one time, or I mean you getting on a roller coaster and you used to going on there one time, it's a thousand people in there, but they control how many times you go around on the roller coaster and you just going and going, it's not gonna be fun no more. So I do think that some people who feel like pain, fame, and power and all that stuff is the same thing, they're understanding like, nah, you could ride that roller coaster as long as they tell you. Some people are really in power and we don't know their faces, we barely know their names. Some of 'em we don't know their names, and they the real power players. They have real power. Whatever they do to orchestrate the puppet show, that's how they get down. So yeah, so that was Diddy. That was Diddy in the fallout, power, fame, and consequences. I hope he gets what he deserves. Uh, DG Holly Berry. I said Holly Berry. Haley, but see, just dyslexic at its finest. Just whatever I see the word say, my brain go finish it. But DDG Haley and the culture of oversharing. Fans are invested, but is it too far? How social media ruins peace for young parents. Should boundaries return in the digital age? Just like the Supreme Court making a ruling, some stuff you don't need to talk about. Is I don't think nobody putting their hands on nobody is cool. We could say don't play with my child, my dog, my family, my wife, whatever. This, that, and the third, and you give the reasons to hurt somebody. But anybody that you're in a relationship with, there's somebody that sees you as somebody that you have created something with or had love for at one point, or just whatever. You shouldn't. I don't think you should ever put their hands on them. Um, Even his mama handling it, like if your son doing this, that, and the third. That's one thing that I can applaud my family for. Like if I do wrong by my wife, my brother do wrong by his significant other girlfriend, this, that, and the third. Like they not just go sit there and be like, "Oh, that's my baby." Like wrong is wrong and right is right. They still gonna love us, but if my people love you enough to bring you around and bring you in the fold, and don't get me wrong, like they know how this person act, or they can know how my spouse act, this, that, and the third. Like they gonna choose right is right and wrong is wrong. They're not gonna get up there if I done slap the shit out my wife and be like, "Oh, my baby," like that's not how my people go, and I applaud them for that because a lot of times we get situations like that where the family is like, "Oh," and now you got the baby mama, the girlfriend, or whatever in a sucky spot because sometimes that's all that that person has, or the resources or whatever. Like, and I'm not saying like, of course, with her it's a little bit different, but it just sucks because you just saying like that right or wrong, no matter what, shit, kind of um in a lot of ways it's very childish because that is it's so contradiction. Like you can't say you stand on morals and principles and real and fake and then you like right or wrong or right, like that's no, because if your people do some fake shit and you riding with it to show face, you're stupid and you fake and that's dumb. But that's my opinion, that's dumb, that's lame as hell. Like if you do some fake shit and you move funny and you do, I'm gonna do that's weird. That's weird. We gonna speak on that. So yeah, fans are invested, but is it fair? You share your life to the fans, and they can only be invested in what you give them. Like you can't be invested in what Victoria Moore got going on outside of the business adventures and the stuff that I put on the internet When I came back to the internet, I said I would only come back to the internet if I was doing something to make money or promote myself on the internet. And that's all my platforms is about. I rarely post pictures of my family. My significant other is on the internet, so I post her on the internet. But same thing with like my mom and stuff like that. But I don't post them so much of certain things. I don't post a lot of my brothers and other siblings. It's just not me. I don't post a lot of that stuff because you can't be invested into something I don't give you to invest in. It's not opened up. It's not opened up for public trading, so there's nothing to be invested in. So with that, I'll just say that that's how their relationship has been shared. That's how it's been viewed. People do make mistakes. When you make mistakes, like I said it earlier, making a video about the Forever Show. Like I'm happy that like phones were a thing, but the quality wasn't. People wasn't necessarily posting. You might send it around, do this and that, but um, I'm just happy that stuff wasn't leaked that did super crazy with other stuff. Um, cause man, we ain't gonna talk about that though. I done lived a life. So has social media ruined peace for young parents? No. Once again, you can only they can't ruin what you don't give them to ruin. Social media is not a real thing. It's people. I ain't gonna say that social media is a real thing, but social media in a certain sense is not real. They only have what you give them, and if you do not give them anything to have, they have nothing to be had to give. That's all you have is that. And there's nothing you can do with that because I gave you that and that is it. There's nothing else to be done. So no, it's not ruining peace for young parents. Like young parents that's been able to parent their children, it does expose a lot of stuff a little bit quicker. People are able to see because it's different when your mom be like, I don't like that dude, I don't like that girl. Your daddy say this, that, and the third, but they can see something you can't. It's different when you got 10,000 other eyeballs telling you like this. Like I done been there, girl. Like leave that dude alone. This, that, and the third, because they see something that you don't. I don't think the social media has ruined it. Should boundaries return in the digital age? I don't really think that boundaries ever was a thing. I just think that like when people talk about when the older generation talk about what they wouldn't did and how they wouldn't have did certain things, they didn't have the access to do it. Like you rapped about it or you wrote about it in books or you wrote letters about it. You would have did the same thing that we doing now. You did not have the access to do it. So you didn't do it. And it's easier to be like, we just want to raise like that. Yeah, exactly. So if you had access to it, a whole lot more stuff would be out. And you excuse me, and you see it. You got people, parents and grandparents on the internet crashing out. It's like they would have been doing the same thing. So no, yeah, there like definitely should be boundaries, but boundaries are to be set. Like if it's a boundary to my house, I put the boundary there. You can only come this far. You come farther than that, and I'm gonna bust your ass. Like that's a boundary that I set. So yeah, bring boundaries back to social media. Let stuff be set. But the people who's on and sharing their life to the world has to do that. Let me see. Like I usually have my little thing up, but I ain't want to be bothering with knocking the mic. But tired of looking down. Put my little pad up. Um, undercover wealth gaps. Social media illusion. Influencers look rich, but most are broke behind the scenes. Let's talk about real money, not filtered lifestyle. I do think this is true, but that's only some influencers. But because you do have influencers that, once again, how it said, like business people who have made money, who come from being poor and down. And every influencer on the internet is not lying. Every influencer on the internet is not trying to scam. A lot of people get paid to post their pictures. They get paid for their pictures. They get paid for videos. They get paid for promo. Um, so some of them do be broke, but I think that goes with like popularity because you can have an influencer that just straight came up from the internet and they're popular from posting videos and content and stuff like that, but the platform doesn't pay them that much. They not gonna have a lot of money. But you got some who came up in a platform necessarily like YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that don't necessarily. And I'm not saying it. Look, YouTube, we already trying to get the business right. Do not misunderstand what I'm saying. Okay? If YouTube is not necessarily paying you, a lot of the money comes from like ads and different little things like that. So these people are making money from social media, but not in the way that you think they are making money. So yeah, like some of them not broke. Some of them like you got to go on here and post and do whatever, and whatever, and we're paying you to stream this content. So yeah, undercover wealth gaps, the social media illusion. We know social media can be an illusion. That's why I don't do it. Like my spouse get on to me all the time. She be like, fix your angles, post this way, that way. And I'm like, you gotta see these people in person. And even still, like you get on the internet, you fix yourself, but then people gotta see you in real life. I don't get it. Like make your pictures look taller, and people celebrities post their certain angles, and they talk this, and then you see them in person and they short or they little as hell, and you're just like, so I don't get it. I think that's why I say, like, you don't mean to be contradiction, but the real and the fake in it, like, um, consumers like to look at stuff a certain way, and why would I? And don't get me wrong, because we do live in an age where like more people do like saying something that looks like them. But even when like I don't want to just female body, male bodies or whatever. A lot of that stuff go with surgeries and it look perfect, and then you got people that cannot afford those surgeries that do not understand that that is an illusion, that surgery or whatever. That they're never gonna look like what you look like because you don't even look like what you look like. Like a lot of people give SZA a hard time. I thought she was hella beautiful before all the surgeries. I think she hella beautiful now, but it was she was rougher. She she would not shave under her arms and shit like that, and people crucified her for it. And it's just like, what, you don't want to see the real. So to be like social media is an illusion, yeah, because that's what people subscribe to. I get you real. I'm not freaking coming on here and putting makeup on. And even with that, you see people go put the makeup on, do all that. And now you look like the shit that was made excuse me, the shit that was made for dead people, you got all on your goddamn face looking crazy, but it looked better on the camera. But that's what most people want to see. So most people don't want to see the real. But yeah, influencers look rich because that's what you want to see. And we see the ones who actually had a hustle about them or grind about them because hustle has been used in some crazy ways. Everything's not a scam, just that and there. Like the ones that actually had some get down about them, they survived through the pandemic and stuff like that. Some of them was birthed in the pandemic. I started my podcast in the pandemic, and it wasn't cost and based on what I'm doing. Like I had another job, I was able to do this, able to elevate certain things because it wasn't based off of this, and my content didn't change because I'm not telling you about a fake lifestyle that I'm living. I'm telling you what I'm really living. Started this podcast off, I was flying around the world on private jets. Couldn't That's another thing, but like like the whatever for the service. So yeah, just to say, like, yeah, it is a people do look rich. It is a filtered lifestyle, but that's what people really want to see. And even with them, like we let's talk. It says let's talk about real money. I, it's hard talking about money or certain things for people that's not there yet, and it's all about who you're talking to. So that's why that I say, and I'm gonna speak for myself, like I always do. You want to like you have to learn who you're talking to. Like they say, know your audience. Because I could talk about money and what I get paid and this, that, and the third. And some people take it like you bragging. Some people take it as motivation. Some people can tell you what to do with the money. But if you lying about what you're making and you trying to act like you popping it, like even some people get that wrong. Like if we go somewhere and I pay for your food, I'm not trying to show you that I'm balling. That is, I'm showing you that I got you. Like however much I be in your presence or not in your presence, this is something that just comes with knowing me. I'm not trying to show you that I pop it. If I tip big, I'm not trying to show you that I'm popping it. But um you can have some people you go around and be like, nah, I got everybody's stuff. Or, hey, I'm gonna pay for this, or I'm gonna pay for y'all, or it's your birthday, I'm gonna pay for that. Oh, they got money. Is that it's like they take it a certain way, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So talking about real money to some people $500. Real money to some people 2 grand. You can some people that ain't nothing. They can't necessarily do nothing with it. So in their mind it's not real money. So I can necessarily talk about real money because everybody's definition of real money is on them. Some people can be like, U.S. money. We bet we got so much debt. What is real money? Everybody's just playing a big ass game on Monopoly. You have rich people tell you like, if you're not in debt, I know you're not because you ain't really making no money, or you got a bunch of consumer debt that you got into debt, and that debt that you got into was not debt producing income, and it's just debt. It's just debt, and you just got caught up in the consumer. So that's all I gotta say about that. Undercover wage gaps in the social media illusion. Like people like it, so they feed them what they like. The rise of AI girlfriends and emotional disconnection. Are we losing our ability to connect with real people? While younger men are turning to AIs for comfort, Mental health meets tech edition. Mental health meets tech edition for sure. Definitely for sure. I think that yeah, definitely for sure. I think that people have lost the ability to talk to normal people. And I also think that goes to what we subscribe to. Like, people are scary and the world is scary and this and that. And then you put those goggles on. Not saying bad stuff don't happen, but just like I said, the internet is not a real place. Like, a lot of shit that people say on the internet, they want to say to your face. A lot of way that people act, um they wouldn't act like in your face or whatever. Some people be more scared of you talking to them because they have nothing to say, or like they nervous or whatever, and the other motherfuckers racist or they assholes or whatever. Like, so yeah, of course it's a disconnect. Of course people don't know how to talk to people. And then once again, going back, tying it back into the fucking first one, the censorship and the shit that we expose our children and people to, like, yeah, you got grown men thinking that they supposed to control women, a little boy saying they're supposed to control women, and I don't even want to get on to, like, man, like, got this problem with studs and this and all this other stuff, but like, you can't do what you need to do. Like, stop trying to control people. Like, if our life was meant to be controlled, we would have been born different things. Like, somebody does not have to do what you tell them to do. Like, that's not the code that was written on life. That's just what people tell us it was. You have to do what I said to do. No, the fuck I don't. Unless I'm in somewhere that I have to play by your rules, and even then I don't have to. I make the choice to say that I need to get what I need done. So yes, I play by your rules or whatever. But um yeah, are we losing the ability to connect with real people? Yeah, some people are, some people not, because some people know that, like, I come on the internet, I go do real life stuff, and then I come on the internet and talk about it. I'm not on the internet talking what I'm not doing in real life. I'm meeting people in real life. I'm able to say, like, I'm floor seat at the you can't be floor seat at a fight through the computer. Like, it's just not the same. You Because that's called buying the fight pay-per-view or whatever. But when you down there and you actually see these people, like, I done seen you before. I done been to fights in Dallas. Like, my first flight in Dallas, I'm waiting to breach. The second flight in Dallas, I'm on the floor. You get to see these people, and then fly back home. I'm in DC at fights. I'm in Maryland going to different, and you see some of the people are just like you, that they like, yeah, I seen you, and here I was there at this fight. I seen you in shit like that. So some people understand. I ain't gonna say some people. The people not I ain't gonna say 9 times out of 10 either, because I don't want to give a fake ratio. But the people that you're watching, some of them are not exposed to real people. But that's why I say it is dangerous, because people that get on the internet and they talk about how you should do women and what need to be done with a woman, this, that, and the third, and it's like they're not even doing that. Like, they're not doing that at all. Like, they're not treating their wife like that. That chick not treating their boyfriend like that. But they're spewing that written information that they probably didn't even write to you and putting it out songs, movie, or whatever. So yeah, of course, some people are losing the ability to talk to real people. But it's been a thing. It's been a thing. Even that's why I say, is even in the service, you got a drill sergeant, and I say this a whole lot, but it stood out to me. Like, I had an NCO that was fresh off the trail, and like in basic training at a certain point, drill sergeants was like God. So they walk by, you get out the way, this, that, and the third. That does somebody to somebody's head. And then you get back into the regular army, you got that patch, is cool, but I'm not getting out of your way because I see you walking by. I'm not like, no, say the fuck excuse me, something like that. So yeah, of course it does something different. Younger men turn into AIs for comfort. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. Like, once again, it's two sides of a coin. It's good and bad. But some people just need somebody to talk to, not feel judged, this, that, and the third. Of course, some people go turn to AI to not feel bad. Hopefully, it keeps a lot of them not weird. It keeps a lot of the well, yeah, fucked up weird people and men that try to haggle women and force them to talk to and do all that. Hopefully, it keeps some of them satisfied, for sure, because leave people alone, and vice versa for females. They turn into and anything in between. If you can turn the AI and talk to it and plug in that missing connection that you need, do your thing. Once again, I'm big on, if it, even if it don't hurt me, because that's not true. I'm not big on that. I'm big on, let people live their own life, and if it's not hurting anybody to a certain extent, then let them do it. Of course, everything has its limitations. Mental health meets tech addiction. I don't feel like there's nothing else to be said. Like, yeah, of course, like it is better to go outside and talk to people in my head, but yeah, of course, mental health, not being able to talk to people, not being able to do certain things. Of course, you go turn to tech. Of course, it's a tech condition. Of course, you go get up and brainlessly scroll and look, and you got somebody to talk to in your pocket that can tell you the greatest things in the world. Yeah, probably is gonna do a little bit of more damage for mental health, but it also might be good too. So we get into the last time we talk about. If you have enjoyed this live episode of Social Heartfelt and Informative Thing, share it, rewatch it, download it, just let it play in the background. I tell you the truth, I don't care. I don't care. Let it play in the background. Put it on mute. Just let it play. Let the whole thing play through. Last thing we go talk about another story that I don't know why we don't know. The soldier turned chef is feeding the homeless with MREs. There's a former army cook in Atlanta using expired MREs and fresh food donations to make meals for unhoused veterans. His name is not in the headlines, but his impact is real. I don't know the background to this story, so I have to fact check this. Why is it not national news, and how small acts are changing the lives when the system fails? But I think that is the system. I think it takes a village and doing for your community. That is the system. The big system was never created once again for us to succeed. Like, so we're trying to make it do something that it was never designed to do for us. At a certain point, yeah, to take care of other people and other races, and when they started it to take care of those people, yeah. But shout out to them. Their name is not listed, so that's why I'm not saying a name. Why is it not national news? Once again, that's not a big thing to some people, but I think it should be. I think it should be, but that's what you're supposed to do. Feed the not supposed to do. I don't say it like that, but like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. Like, you're feeding the community. You're taking care of veterans. This is what I said earlier. Like, I'm able, even being in the service, if a soldier told me they was on hard times or they need money, they ain't really making a lot of money, child support, whatever, everything in between. When we go out of town or do something like that, I'm paying soldiers. I'll go to the dog sitting app. I'll see what the rate is that that app chooses or shows me, and I won't pay a stranger to watch the dogs. And I'm saying, like, I'll let them watch them, and I'll pay them their money, and I'll tip them when they came, when I came back or whatever. So stuff like that, like that's feeding, directly feeding the community, being able to do it. And I'm in the military with you, so yeah, I make a few more pennies than you do, but I'm thinking about like me going out there and starting this corporation and this entity and being able to do that on a larger scale, being able to feed people. So yeah, shout out to them that has not been named, but we're going. That is the end. That is the end of Social Heartfelt. I don't know, like, let me see, cause the clap don't be going off. Like, I'ma hear it, but I don't think y'all go hear it. It's like it don't play. But shout out to y'all, anybody that's checking out this episode, whenever you check it out, checking out this live episode of Social Heartfelt, informative things on the internet or shit on the internet for short. Thank you, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, listen to the podcast wherever you can. Overthinking Understanding podcast, and then I also will be dropping a car session. Like I say, videos and stuff like that. I might come on here and do a little bit more lives until we get the business side corrected with Lovely on YouTube. But or I might just go to another platform. Don't say too much, right? Take my foot out my mouth. Check me out. Overthinking Understanding Podcast, abbreviated. So Otis OTUS underscore podcast on Instagram. Overthinking Understanding Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Type me into Amazon, anywhere. Go to Google, type in Overthinking Understanding, and I will pop up. And like I say, this segment is called Social Heartfelt and Informative Things. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, listening to me talk some shit. Until next time, be genuine to yourself and kind to others.